MySQL is a structured query language. It is a query language which is used to query your data which is present in your databases. Okay. So furthermore, it is a open source a relational database itself. They will say. So initially, that was there were only SQL structured query language, and I mean, when the need increases and there were many developers, they started developing many SQL languages. MySQL is now popularly used. It is a relational databases. There are different kind of a databases. We will see it. Okay, what are the different kinds and how this one is different. Okay, it is a cross-platform. Which means it runs on a number of different platforms. What they say is you can run MySQL in your Linux operating system, in your Windows operating system, or in your Mac OS, or in your embedded system, anywhere. Okay, different versions of MySQLs are available. Okay, and there are also user interfaces like MySQL Workbench or another workbenches where you can interact with your databases. Oh, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, well, furthermore, don't worry, we will see it how it is used. So actually, that data which are stored, there is a MySQL engine. Using that we can store our data in the form of a database. What is a database? A database is nothing but the values are stored in the rows and column format. Okay, that is where you store the database. We call it as a database. Okay, what is MySQL? They say it is a relational database management system. Relational means data are stored. See, we saw we keep saying like in our Java we say that we add employee data, we add student data. So employee will have some information, no, like his name, address, ID, mobile number, and street, all those things. Those things we can store it in a table, in a table format. And like student information also can be stored into table format. They are relational in the sense one or two tables can be related together. So table format, when I say table, we understand, right? We saw my CSV files, that is Excel sheets, we are seeing it. Those are storing all the informations in rows and column. Okay, so when I say like when I wanted to store some information about I'm an employee and all, so in the database, you can store in rows. This is a row 1 or row 2, row and column format. Okay, this is what we call it as a database. Database is a space where you can store a collection of data. Okay, and here we say relational database, that I will explain it later. First, I'll tell in what is table, row, and column. So this is the table. So when I say about an employee details in Java, we are saying like we store it as in the form of objects, right? So in a table, in a database, how we are storing like a employee name, ID, his phone number, okay, street, email ID, all these things, email ID, all these things can be stored in the database like this form. Okay, employee name, this can be his ID, this can be his phone number in each column, and the street. Those who know about the database, they can easily relate. Many can easily relate it. Okay, but just for an introductory, I'm starting this with this. And the row, say for example, employee one information, I'm storing it here. Like Peter, ID 100, some phone number, and some street name, main street something, and his email ID. Likewise, employee 2 information, I'm storing it in the second, like John 100 likewise. So this we call it as a table. Okay, and the whole thing, Okay, which we, this is a single table, the whole thing which we say it as a database. So relational database means, so for example, this is the employee table, and there is another table, maybe like a department. Okay, relation in the sense if you are trying to relate between this table, employee table, and the relate department table, then it is called the relation that we are creating it. There are ways that we can create relation between tables. Okay, so it is possible that we can relate between two tables in your database or multiple tables. So that is the reason they call this as a relational database management system. Okay, data DBMS, that is the abbreviation for this relational database management system. And the language it's supposed to query the data is the structured query language. Okay, it means how to retrieve the data of a particular employee or find a particular ID of an employee, all this information, how we uh, access the information inside the table using the structured query language. Okay, and it is free to download. MySQL is open source and open source, and it is free to download. Okay, source code is also available. It is maintained by the oracle by Oracle Corporation. Okay, it is written in C and yeah. Structured query language means see I will one example for the query language is like a select a table name. Okay, select this is the query which you write it in, select star from some table, you will say. So this is the statement this is the table name, say for example employee. So this is the structured query language which is used to query means collect some information from your table or from your database. So that is what the structured query language is. Okay, so how do we retrieve data from a table, or how do we update, or how do we add data into a table or into a database? That is the structure. And a database is nothing but a collection of these tables. Okay, together we can say it as a database. We normally group, see same like in any other languages, like we can group the similar kind of a tables into a one database. Okay, and you can create relations between them or not, that we will see it later. Okay, MySQL internally is written in C or C++. It is C++ language. Okay, internally means the coding, like how you can store the data into a table, how retrieve it, how it is viewed. Okay, to the user, all these things are written in a C++ language. Okay, it is actually developed by Michael Widinas and David Axmark in 1994. They started developing it in 1994 itself. This is may not be important information, and there is one interesting information that how it got a name MySQL. The meaning of my in SQL. Anyone can say that? What is the meaning of my in SQL? Speaking anything. It is nothing. Okay, it is just some information that when this person, no, Michael Widenius, yeah, Widenius, when he was developing this, yes, were developing this MySQL, he gave the name of his daughter. This is his daughter name. Okay, that's what he just. It's a SQL language. Okay, all relational databases follows a SQL language in the sense a structured query. See, Java is a language, right? And Python is a language when I say that, the language which the computer understands. Likewise, this database management system understand this language. Okay, the rows and column values which are stored in the database is nothing but a is understands the language which is written in MySQL, sorry, SQL, okay, structured query language, to retrieve or store any data in the database. You understand now what is a database? It is a nothing but a collection of information you are storing. How you are storing in a structured way? In a structured way, it is nothing but rows and columns. Rows and columns. How do you again structure in the form of tables? So we can say plainly, like a database is nothing but a collection of tables. Okay. Yeah. Likewise, we can say, and it is now it is maintained by the Oracle Corporation. Okay, they do development also maintenance of this MySQL, MySQL. Okay, and query means see, it is a query, a question only. Okay, you asked me a question, no, like what is a query? Likewise, it is like we are querying the database. We are questioning the database. We are saying select. See, if you see this statement, This is one of the query. Okay, query statement also we can say. I'm saying select star means all information. Okay, all information from table name. I'm saying that is what the query is. Okay, we pass the query. If we, it is like we are questioning the table to give retrieve some information. Okay, plain English text. Okay, that's what that query means. And and we are questioning the structured format, that is the rows and table format, so it is a structured query language. Okay, I will move on further. So database management system, okay, it is like an application itself, okay, that stores the collection of data. But MySQL we say it as MySQL we say RDBMS, relational database management system. DBMS or DBMS. Why? Because the tables will be related in that. But plainly, from where that relational database management system term comes from is from the DBMS. Okay, database management system. It's an application like whatever the application we see, like a Java applications or some application you see, you are using it. No, likewise, it's an application. What it will do, it will have this stores the to store a data like a storage space, stores the data, a collection of data together. A database is an organized collection of structured information or data, this I have told, and it is controlled by the DBMS. This DBMS means the system, because it will be like, it will not be like a plain application, right? It should also be controlled by some user and all. So all those information will be present. We can collectively call it as a database management system. Okay, data plus database management system is the database systems. This is fine. And each database can have one or more distinct APIs for creating and accessing, managing, searching and duplicating. What they are saying is, say data in databases there are different types of databases will be available, like this one MySQL, we are seeing it as a relational database. There is also like distributed databases or object oriented databases. Distributed databases we say like Hadoop, it's a distributed data distributed database system. Likewise, we can say distributed means data will be distributed among different nodes. Okay, and data warehouses, in lately in late times we are coming across the data warehouses. Okay, which where storage of huge number of data. There is also like no SQL databases, as they say. See, SQL is structured. Okay, rows and columns will be there. No SQL means it will not be structured at all. Okay, there like data will not be like here we can segregate, right? Employee name we can segregate from a data, ID we can segregate, whereas in NoSQL you cannot segregate the data. As such, the data will be stored. And there are also open source databases, something like multi-mode, document type, cloud databases. So okay, for each of this accessing, say if you are accessing distributed type or if you are accessing the relational type, they have the separate application programming interfaces, that are those libraries or the functionalities they have to do the querying or creating a table or storing the information. The way of creating uh, databases, everything changes. As I said, for different databases it will change. Okay, that is what that each databases will have their own distinct APIs, so that will be developed by the respective developers, like MySQL developers or SQL Oracle SQL developers, and others are like distributed. Okay, when I say relational databases, do anyone wants to give any other example of relational RDBM, relational DBMS? I said MySQL is one of the example. Anything else? SQL, Oracle, SQL. Anything else you can think? Hadoop is a distributed databases. It is not a database, a distributed system, we'll say. Okay, it is not a database. Database you can say, but they don't call it likewise. Okay. Okay. What are some other example? MySQL server. Server and see, difference between SQL and MySQL. There is no difference between these two. Okay, SQL is given by Oracle. Primarily, it was written in Oracle. Okay, and MySQL is the latest, little latest one. 1994 they started off, and the language will change. The query language may differ. Okay, between SQL and MySQL. Mostly functionalities used in MySQL and SQL will be the same. Both are structured databases only. That is a relational databases only. There are not much differences. Maybe the engines which are used, engine in the sense we don't get into that detail, but internally maybe the working is different, but both are more or less similar only. See, SQL is Oracle database, you can say, and MySQL is also Oracle one, but it is the latest one. Nowadays, it is most widely used in the market, in companies also, the market. Okay, both are similar. Similar query language may change. Some are supported in mostly more or less same only. Yeah, MariaDB. Yes, MariaDB is also a relational database, but that is not used mostly. I think MariaDB. That is actually comes along with while you install MySQL itself, it will come. Okay, these are all some of the example for relational database. There are many available. Okay, relational databases. Okay, and some example I can say it for stuck no SQL. I told no SQL means it will not store the data in the rows and column format. Okay, it will some example you can think of like binary data. Okay, or ordered and not ordered. Uh, what do you mean that? No SQL, it will not have any structure. Okay, see if you see some no, no, no. See, there is a something like there is MongoDB is a NoSQL database. They say, okay, they store the data in the format of a JSON. It means like Java. This is JSON is Java. I forgot. It's a JavaScript. Yeah, JavaScript object notation. Okay, JavaScript object notation. Okay, so it means like it will start and it will have some data inside it, like open braces, close braces, and it will have a values inside it. So this kind of a data will be stored in the database. So it will not follow any structure, any structure it will not follow. And some other example you can say data in documents. Yeah, this MongoDB will store the data in the format of documents. Okay, and there is also another like HBase, you will see it in Hadoop. Okay, that will store data as a column format. Okay, those things we'll get in detail when we go there. So this kind of like you cannot relate them, or you cannot like structure them like rows and columns. Particular data, I mean fixed structure you cannot give for them, so those we'll call it as a NoSQL database. I mean those kind of data where we will store, we they have found a different kind of storage system which is like MongoDB or HBase or Cassandra. Okay, to store that kind of information into that. And key value pairs. Yeah, key value pairs is like there is also there are also databases. Okay, like map databases where we can store key value pairs, and we can also call this as a no structured data. Okay, all those things, some examples of other NoSQL databases. Okay, okay, we will further move on. We were seeing the RDBMS. Okay, this we have seen. Okay, so this is some definition about RDBMS, like a relational database management system, is software which is used to store, manage, query, and retrieve huge volume of data from the relational database. Relational database, as I told, the tables shall be related or can be present independently also, no problem. But it can you can relate both the tables. So, if one other example I can give, like Say you have a customer information. If you're going to a store, we say that customer information and the orders he has given. Okay, so here I say it's a table format I store, like customer one, his name and order he made. Okay, and what orders, if I example 5, order 5 he made, and I have the order table. It has all 5 order number 5. Okay, number 5 is made. Okay, like 1 2 3 4 5. So he has made the fifth order. So I am trying to relate. I'm not in a single table itself, I'm not storing customer information and order information. Okay, order information can have like the product name. Okay, product name, product id, and the price of the product, and whether it is a edible product or something like that. Those information I can store into a separate table. Okay, so how it is, I can relate between these two tables. This is internally in plain english what it means. The customer information can uh, I mean, you can relate the customer information on which order he has purchased, a particular customer, which order he has purchased, and about the information about the order is present in the order table. So this way you can relate the tables. This can be done using the keys. Okay, later on we will see two types of keys, which is nothing but the primary key and foreign keys. Okay, that I will tell you little further more. Okay, like to understand about what is relation is, between the tables you can create a relation. Okay, and you can have separate tables. Don't have to merge everything into a single uh, compound information. You can have it as a separate tables, so it is easy to maintain also. Okay, so it is like an interface you can think between users, applications, and the database. This is called a relational database because all data is stored into different tables, and relations are established using the primary keys or other keys also. Okay, are also known as the foreign key. So the you can represent a key in one table, and you can refer using that key in the another table. That's what that primary key and foreign key concepts. Okay, so we will see in detail about primary key and foreign key, but right now you understand that relation is like you can create relation between the tables. That's why they are relational databases. Okay, furthermore, okay, some of the terminologies when we talk about any databases, database is one of the terminology. It is a collection of table and related data. Okay, and it is not mandatory that related data, but normally how do we segregate everything? See, when you take when you take your desktop or in your laptop, you segregate data based on folders, right? All your learning things you will put it in a one folder, all your assignments you'll put it in another folder, likewise. So segregation of data, that is useful, right? Then why do we have a database? Likewise, table is a matrix with the data. A table in the database looks like a simple spreadsheet. It looks like a spreadsheet. Okay, so matrix is like we can give the rows and columns. That's what they say. It's a matrix, and it is looking like a simple spreadsheet. In spreadsheet, so similar thing is s- uh, before databases and all have come into picture, they would have thought about storing data in a spreadsheet, right? But a large amount of information you cannot store in a spreadsheet, and traversing it, retrieving the data, you cannot write queries in a spreadsheet, right? That and all is very difficult. So using database will be very good. And column is one column, the column name which we are giving it here, right? Each column, column 1, column 2, this we can call it as an attribute or a data element. This, that's what here they are say. Interchangeably we use the words. Contains the data of one or of one and the same kind. For example, the column postcode example they are giving, like if you have a column employee name, employee id, all this called as an attribute. In Java also we call them as attributes, right? Attributes or fields. Here also we can change the say in the same name. A row is called the tuple. Okay, this row, the complete row is can also be called as a tuple or an entry or a record. Okay, similar in the spreadsheet also we can say like that. Is a group of related data. For example, the data of one subscription, that is the employee data. The employee data like his name, id, phone number, and all stuffs. Okay, then redundancy, storing data twice. See, redundancy is like you can store the data multiple number of times. That's what they are saying. It will allow you to store data. Okay, likewise. No, no, employee, if there is only one day, one employee one, then you can store only one information. It means multiple tables you can have and you can store different multiple same data repeatedly also. Means no, not the same information. It will say information is present. What do they mean? I think this doesn't make any sense. You can replicate the data, I think, like different data. Yeah, if you give it, yeah, that is also possible. You can have a same data multiple times. It is possible, but that doesn't make any sense here. But I don't know why this is given. Redundancy storing data twice. It will allow you to store your data twice, unless until you restrict saying store unique data. It will allow you to store your data twice. We can see it while doing examples. Okay. Then about some other terminologies like foreign key, primary key, compound key, index, and referential integrity. So primary key is like unique. So how do I say is, so if you take our employee database, you can have that each employee will have a unique email ID, right? His email ID and the phone number is always going to be unique. Okay, or you can also give a unique id for him, like whenever an employee joins a company, they will give a unique id for them. Likewise, like a customer who is making a purchase, you can normally nowadays they ask you to give your information, right, to store it. If any points are there, they will add it to your account. Likewise, so that customer information, that customer id can be called as a primary key. See, primary key plays a role furthermore, but now you can understand like a key which uniquely identifies any row. Okay, so if you say that row column, okay, if I gave the employee id as a primary key, if I mention this as a primary key, so this key will uniquely identify this row, the employee row. Okay, employee 1, employee, if id is 100, using this 100 you can uniquely identify this employee information. Okay, with a key you can find one row. That's what they are saying. And the foreign key is used for linking between the two tables. Okay, and a primary key which is a, a key which is primary to a one table, that is employee table, can be used in the another table. Okay, like a department table. Okay, like employee id only you can use it, and you can say this as a foreign key in the department table. Okay, so in this way, using the foreign key, you can link the employee table and also the department table. Okay, it is used to create a relationship between the one table to another table. Okay, it means, see I say like the primary key 100 is uniquely identify the employee 1. Okay, and to which department he belongs, using the foreign key you can find it. Maybe this is a department of say sales, or a department of hr, so we can say that this employee belongs to the sales department. Likewise, okay, it is to link between the two tables. And furthermore, there is a compound key. This is the composite. It's a key that consists of multiple columns, because one column is not sufficiently unique. It's what they say is, here we are talking about a single key, right, between two tables. You can also have a multiple keys to uniquely to relate between the two tables. So that's what they are saying it. I will explain in detail about when we are doing this. Okay, now you just think that there can be keys can be used to relate tables. While it comes to relationship, you can use a foreign key and a compound key can be, here it is only employee id, it can be like employee id and plus email address also can be considered as a unique key. Okay, likewise you can use that. And indexing, there is another concept or terminology in database terms, which is an index, resembles an index of the book used to find the rows. So whenever you write any language, query language, okay, SQL, any query statement, it means you are uniquely try to identify some data from the table, right? Okay. So there is an indexing concept. Okay, indexing, when I say, you think that in your book, okay, there will be index part in the, this is one terminology in which in your book, why do we use the index? Normally, if you wanted to quickly find any of the topics which we don't know where it is present, or some words where it is present in your book, what we will do, we will go to the end of the book, we'll see in the index, there the page number will be there, right? We'll go and search inside the page number. During examination times, we used to do, like, some topics, if you wanted to revise it, we go to the index page, we'll see where all it is present, and we'll try revising it or reading it or understanding the concept. Likewise, so it is like a quick access. In your database, you can have an index, okay. We can create indexes so that the accessing of a particular information in your table will be faster. This I will also discuss more. See, since today is an introductory section, so don't worry about it. We will understand each and every concept later on clearly. Okay, we will do exercise also in that. And referential integrity makes sure that a foreign key value always points to the existing key. What they say is, when you are trying to delete any information, that time that there is make sure that a foreign key value always points to the primary key. That's what. Okay, this also I will explain it a little later on. Okay, referential integrity, it means the information availability should be present between the even. See, what does it mean is, if two tables are related, okay, and I say I am relating it with a key value, so deleting an information which is referred in another table should be taken care. That's what they are saying, that a referential integrity. Did you understand? Like, say, two tables, like employee table and department table, all related by a key. Here I'm saying the primary key and a foreign key, right? So if I delete some information in one of the table, the key should not affect, okay, it, because it is referring to other information in a different table, so that should not get affected. That's what referential integrity means. It makes sure that a foreign key values always points to the existing row. So what does it mean in that sense is, after explaining this, I will talk about referential integrity again. Okay, so first we will understand the concept about primary key and foreign key. Okay, so primary key is actually, as I told, it uniquely identifies a row. So whenever you create any table in your database, what do I told, like, we are going to store information into the table. How do we store? We create tables, right? We create a table, and we will say that rows will be of this type. What are the columns it is going to have? It is like, what are the attributes it is going to have? So here there is a person table. The person table, it is going to have the column names like person id, last name, first name, and age. Okay, so here the person id, I say it as a primary key. Primary key is the key which uniquely identifies the row. It means when I try to search, write any query or retrieve the data of person id 1, it gives all the information. It refers to all the information like person id, last name, first name, age of the person table. Likewise, if I try to retrieve information of person ID 2, it refers all information like last name, first name, and age of person ID 2. So that is what a primary key is. What are the conditions to have a primary key? The primary key will be non null, okay, and it will be unique value. Non null means you cannot have a person ID no value, and you can have like Peter, John, 40. This is not possible. Person ID null value. For a primary key, null value it will not allow, and it will always take a unique value. It means it can have only 4 or 5 or anything else. It cannot give a duplicate value like 3 again. Okay, that's what it is. So that is the condition a primary key follows. It will always be non null and a unique value. Okay, and this each row is called as a row or a tuple. Okay, So now we say the foreign key is the one which links between the two tables. Where in this example they have given order table as the another table. Okay, as we know, the person has made an order. Say for example, he has made an order with the order number 77895. Say, and the person has also made an order 44678. In this example, how it shows is the person table, no, the person 3, Peterson, he has made two orders. Okay, so, of order number 7785895 and of order number 44678. Okay, so and I also have in the order information order table the person ID as 33. Okay, so in this way I can relate, I can actually retrieve the data from two tables actually, the person table also and also from the order table. Okay, and we can say the person seven son has made only one order. Okay, based on the ID, person ID, we can say that the person seven son has made only one order, and person Hansen, okay, has made only one order likewise. So how am I relating it internally? Plain English, this person has made an order uh, 77895 and 4469678. How they are related? Using the primary key. A primary key of one table is acting as a foreign key of the another table, which is helping us to relate between the two tables. So this is how this is a relational database, we can say it. Okay, is this clear? Is this concept clear?